Howdy and welcome back. I'm Oliver the Shoe Man. Today we are going to be working on a brand new pair of Thursday Black Matte Captains. These retail for about $200, and after we are done, it'll be worth about $1,000 with all the upgrades that I plan on doing. Now, I like Thursday Boot Company, and for what they offer for their price point, it's a good boot. It's a good boot. You're gonna get good quality soles, materials, leather, everything. Leather heel bases, good rubber heels, leather uppers. But we're just going to change some things around and kind of bring it up to that $1,000 range. Kind of like when you see in these custom bespoke made shoes and dress boots. And so I'm gonna not bore you as I try to take apart this brand new shoe. Skip to the part where I have it kind of apart, but at least the soles are off, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we have the soles off, we have the welt off, we have everything out. Now, one thing that I wish Thursday Boot Company did was these footbeds. I wish they made them out of leather. They have a kind of pour-on like foam filling on the inside that kind of helps make the boot more comfortable right off the bat, and it's nice. However, leather, in my opinion, although it does take a little bit longer to break in, is going to be more comfortable than the pour-on footbeds, like the pour-on footbeds that they put in here. Because yes, the pour-on's cushy at first, but the leather, once it breaks into your foot and molds to your foot, it'll fit like a glove and be way more comfortable than this pour-on style footbed. And it'll last longer too, because over time this stuff kind of just falls apart. And so as I'm resoling them, it falls apart. And a lot of times we have to replace them, which is an extra cost. Whereas if you were to have, an actual leather footbed in there, then you wouldn't have to run into that issue. But leather footbeds are an additional cost for the manufacturer. And Thursday Boot Company's done a really great job of making a good quality boot affordable to get, like, if you're interested in just getting started in this whole boot world. Now, they did just do a collaboration with Rose Anvil, where they redid the Captain, the Heritage Captain, I think what it's called. And they put in, that one they did put in leather footbeds, leather heel counters, and they just kind of overhauled the Captain, which that one retails for about $235, I believe. So not too much more than the original Captain. But I'm excited to try those, hoping to get a pair when they come back in stock, so that I can wear it for a little bit and hopefully do a review for you guys from a cobbler's perspective. Right now, I'm just trying to take out all these staples. The staples, so when they put the footbed in, they kind of staple it to the side so that when they stitch the welt on, it doesn't move. And so I have to go through and cut all of these staples, which is a pain in the butt to do. Oh, excuse me. But once we do that, we'll get the footbed out and we'll go on to the next step. There's one more thing after we remove the footbed that I want to do. But again, I don't want to bore you cutting all these hundreds of staples. Okay, got the footbeds out. Where's the footbed? I had it right here. Yes, right here. Footbeds are out. Now, I had an idea. I wanted to replace this heel counter because the heel counter that they use is like a fiberglass piece. Let me see if I can get it undone for you to see. I wanted to replace it with a leather heel counter because over time this this fiberglass type heel counter kind of falls apart. All right. I'm thinking I might just, instead of replacing it, just adding a leather piece to it. So it'll have two heel counters. So it'll actually help support your foot, or at least my foot when I'm wearing them, a lot better than just if you were to have leather or this elastic. This elastic is what it's called. But it's like a fiberglass type thing. But then I wanted to replace the toe counter because the toe counter is made of the same thing. The issue is I could get away with doing a heel counter without like a last. But with toe counters, you really need that same shape and size to shape your leather toe counter. And so I was like, what? Because you can see the toes, the same thing. I was like, what am I gonna do? So I have this. This is a 65 last from Allen Edmonds in my size, 9D. These boots are a 10 US. Now, if you look, the toe shape is different. This one is more wider, this one's more narrower. This is more like an elegant type last, where this is more it's a bulky, rugged style boot. And so I've tried to fit this inside, right, to see if I can relast the shoe, and I think it's gonna work. And so you see it fits pretty good. And what that'll do is that'll change the size, going from a 10D to a 9D, and it'll actually lengthen the shoe a little bit, but also kind of make it more sleek and elegant, and allow me to replace the toe counters and the heel counters with leather. So that is what I'm going to be working on. These are going to be my new footbeds. This is what I use for my leather soling, for my house leather. It's a German tanned leather. It's about it's a 10 to 11 ounce, which is about 1/4 of an inch thick. So it's pretty thick, but it'll work really well once I get them broken in, fit my foot properly. So I'm gonna get this onto here, and then we'll start with our toe counters, our heel counters, and get all that set up to assemble this shoe. All upgrades, making this as good as possible, replacing everything that needs to be replaced. So that doesn't need to be replaced, just would be nice to make them a little bit better quality of a shoe. Going from that $200 to that $1,000 range boot is what we want. All right, now what we have here is our new leather footbeds. Now, I did a hold fast construction compared to this gemming construction. Gemming construction just has that white ribbing that's glued onto the footbed, and then the welt and everything gets stitched to that. Whereas with this hold fast, the holes are carved into the leather footbed, so that when we put it in, those holes that we sew the welt on will go through the footbed, and it'll actually hold it all in one piece instead of having this multi-piece footbed. We've got our new leather toe counters, as well as a heel counter. We're letting this dry, and once that dries, we'll be able to put our our new toe counter into place, as well as our new heel counter, and then start reshaping and relasting the uppers with some new welts. So we got our new toe counters in. We got our leather heel counter in. We're ready to put our footbeds, not our footbed, I guess our footbeds, into place. First, though, we have to kind of set everything back into its place, the lining, and then we'll be able to start reshaping the shoes. Okay, so I didn't know if this was gonna work or not, like relasting it, so I kind of skipped ahead a couple steps and tried them on, and this is my size in an Allen Edmonds 9D, the 65 last. So in theory, changing these from a 10D to this will fit my foot perfectly. And it actually worked out just fine. I mean, I still have to cut all the trimming, the extra. This is the extra leather from the boots going down in size. But it's very minimal change. You can see it's just a little bit more narrowed. This is more like bulbousy, where this is more elegant and refined, kind of sleeker instead of this big boot. So I'm glad this worked out. I'm very happy this worked out. Now, the next step is to cut off the trimming, cut off this excess, and then I'll be putting a metal shank in the boots, and then we'll go with our leather midsole, and then we'll be doing a leather sole on top, because I'm trying to do more of like a dressier style boot instead of kind of the rugged boot, which is what Thursday kind of designed this style to be. So I am excited. We got that toe counter in here supported. So now there's that fiberglass toe counter and the leather toe counter. Same thing here in the heel, the fiberglass heel counter as well as the leather toe counter. So that's going to be solid for many years to come. I'm gonna flatten out this welt. I use the split welt in a natural color, but I think what I'm going to do is actually dye it a brown and then do a brown edge finish, like a nice mahogany color with all of the leather. I think that'll look really nice with a white top stitch on the welt. I think it'll look really nice. And so for this video, I'm only going to be finishing this one, and I'll make a second video doing this one where I actually go over all the details and the steps of how I relasted and reshaped it. So that'll be another time. But we're going to finish this one up for now, and then do that other one in the future. Now this, we don't need cork for the inside of these because there's no cavity created from like a Goodyear welted shoe. Like you see here, that extra ribbing or gemming creates a cavity that you have to fill. But that being said, I may just add a thin layer of cork, which I think I'm going to do. So this is the thickness that they come in, but I'm going to glue some on there, and I'm going to sand a lot of it off, but at the same time, that'll help fill in any inconsistencies or anything that's like any dips or anything in the leather. Anything. It'll fill in stuff like that part right there. We'll do that. Then we'll get our leather midsole on. They'll be ready for our leather soles. Okay, so we got some JR graffiti soles. I did a light coat of purple leather dye to kind of give it that wine color that it has now. And that should give us a really nice finish on the bottom. Got our new leather midsoles on there, obviously. Get this hammered on. I like to use this little strap here just as protection for the leather soles. Because if you don't hammer properly, or you have marks on the end of your hammer, you'll get hammer marks on the actual leather. And although it's not a structural issue, it is a aesthetic issue that I would like to avoid if at all possible. But these are turning out really nice. I think from here, we'll trim it, we'll dye the welt brown, and then we'll be ready to stitch them on. We got the soles trimmed out. We got a little notch in the front for a beautiful, beautiful toe plate. Now, I think this is gonna be the hardest part of doing this build, or the recraft. I'm gonna do a blind stitch. Blind stitch means I'm gonna cut the side of the sole, flip it open, stitch it, and then glue it back down. And that will eventually, what that'll lead to, or give us, is a hidden stitch, which I guess just means that the stitches are hidden. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a good job of explaining it because I'm trying to focus. But, I mean, in theory, we do this because having that leather piece, leather flap, cover the stitching, it protects the stitching and gives a cleaner finish on the bottom. So, again, this is the hardest part, in my opinion, because one wrong flip and you gotta start all over. You cut through the sole, it's just not gonna look good. Okay. Use this. See that? And so we'll carve a channel in there so that the stitches will sit countersunk, and then when we glue it back down, it'll be nice and flat. It is about that time that we get to stitch everything on together. Now the water just allows the leather to be softened up, and allow the stitcher to stitch better. I got my stitch length to where it's going to be a very narrow stitch. Narrow stitch, which is what we want. We don't want kind of wide stitches on these. That flap got pushed down. I don't want that. Flaps in the way again. Ooh, man. that was one tricky stitch. It's a little wiggly right there, but overall, not too shabby. Have to touch up the color, you see right there. We will do that. That's the one spot I messed up, but I think it'll be fine. It'll be all good. We'll straighten it out. They're coming along. Now we just gotta glue this back down, and it'll be like it never happened. Okay, we got it all glued back down. We are ready for the new heels. Now, I wanted to use some combination heels that I dyed to match the purple, but it's too small. It's not gonna work. I would have had to sand the welt down quite a bit, and I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna use some Vibram heels, which is a really good quality heel. It's gonna last a long time. But unfortunately, it just won't be purple on the bottom. Well, I've got a new look, and so do these boots. I am in love with how these turned out. The purple kind of got a little dark. You can see around the edges, right where I cut the blind stitch, it kind of darkened, which I have no clue why I did that, but you can't really see it from the side. It's mainly aesthetics, but it looks beautiful. They fit great. And again, our whole goal was to try to elevate the quality, the look of the boot from a $200 boot to a $1,000 boot by one, changing the shape. I could wear a size 10. I just have to wear a really large insole. 9 is usually my type, my size. And I knew that this Allen Edmond Last 9D is my size, so I knew this was gonna work. It's just my first time doing it. So now that I know I could do it, we're gonna do it to this one. And yeah, I mean, we did new leather hold fast footbeds, which is kind of what you see with those custom bespoke boots that are up there with the $1,000 range, instead of these fiberboard pour-on gemming style footbeds. Again, which is not a problem. Thursday boots are really great for an introduction boot, something you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on, but it's going to last you 5 years before you need new soles or get a new pair of boots. Where now we just took this to that next level, and again, I just absolutely love the way these turned out. I cannot wait to get this one done so I can wear them again. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to my channel for some more video content like this. I got a lot of cool things coming up, including these really old not World War, but just a war type boots that have seen better days. These are up on next on my schedule. I think we're gonna get those done. I've got some really old elephant ear, I think these are elephant ear boots. Oh, and I just got a whole bunch. Oh, this one, some old Nike shoes that the soles disintegrated, and we're gonna turn them into a really cool boot. So we got some really cool videos coming up, so stay tuned, subscribe, hit that bell notification, comment what you think. Would you spend $800 on a $200 boot to bring them from this to this? Let me know. This was more of a can I do this challenge for myself. So thank you guys again for watching. Greatly appreciate it. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.